7 partners. It will start in the 1st November. It's a chat project for whose duration is 30 months. And the main goal of the first project is to start to face the security problems in cloud, trying to following a technical cloud-based approach. So what is the problem? Typically, and we have seen a lot of experience here, the idea is that you access to the cloud, move everything in the cloud, and you have your resources, your data, your application, everything residing in the cloud. And as all of us knows, the problem is that when everything resides on the cloud, you have to be sure what the cloud providers grants you. Are you sure that your data are correctly protected? The trust is granted? Are you sure that the cloud provider itself does not access your data and use it in some way? And so on. And how do you grant about the security to your users, to your customers on your solutions? So the key problem is that now everything is here. The end user wants to access the cloud provider, and there is here the cloud to be fixed in the middle. Well, the idea of specs is to put something in the middle, that is the specs platform, that acts as mediator and offer grants on end users, and starting from what cloud provider grants to the ones that are using the platform. So the key of this approach will be to use the service level agreement as a means for understanding what is granted on one side and what to grant on the other side. So at the end, the key point is that end users cloud security is our focus. Note that here even the use of service level agreement is changed point of view, because usually service level agreement are taught from the start, point of view of the provider, that what he is able to grant and offer it to users, and users choose the one that is more near to his need. Here we want to start to think in a user-oriented view. We will start from user needs and start to focus the service level agreement on what the user needs. And after that, identify and make matching with the offerings and eventually adapt to the offering. One of the ideas that through the platform already should be able to add the security features to providers that does not offer certain features. So, two key points, two key ideas: security as a service and service level agreement for security. Because the other point is users should be able to push a button and ask for a new security feature, as for all the other features that happens in the cloud. Note that in security, this is pretty new as approach, because usually security is something transversal, strictly integrated with the design and the organization of the system and so on. So we need to rethink the way of building the solutions. How the platform should be used and how it interacts with the provider. Well, we have mainly 3 ways of interacting among the users, the developers, and the providers. The first way is just to have a platform in the middle and users that access to the platform never see what happens on the cloud providers. This platform is run by someone that is completely independent from provider and so on, just buy resources from cloud and run the platform on them independently from providers. And this platform offers new services to users. So, starting applications, improved security services, so services that are just in the middle of the chain of the invocation and add the new security features to what is offered to end users, or security brokering, so a way for selecting what are the services that effectively grant something to end user and add them. The second approach instead is that the platform is run by a provider that has his own resources in a private cloud or a little cloud provider and so on, run the platform on his own resources, use the platform for cloud bursting to improve resources, but maintaining the granting in security, because this is one of the problems you acquire the resources from another provider, but you are now not sure about what you can grant to the users that buy virtual machines to you. They buy to you, you buy from the others, but the other does not offer the same grants you have. So, using the platform, you should make this kind of brokering, but trying to maintain what are the level agreements that you want to offer to end users. The last way of using the solution is end users start the platform on themselves for their meetings and use it directly. So you are the one that start your platform, start your solution, and use it to select the providers, to select what the services, to start to customize them to add security, starting from your local meetings and acquiring step-by-step services. Okay, this is what will be like. The project is not started, so the key point is that to be how to obtain such kind of results. Well, the idea is to start to building a layered solution that enables as a basis the chance of building applications like the ones that we have shown in the three interaction models. So we need a platform that is able to be run on different cloud providers, so that enables for multi-cloud, a platform that enables to run application in the cloud independently from providers, so avoiding lock-in and so on. This platform is the one that enables just the running of the solution, but needs to be taught in order to face problems related to security. As an example, it should be taught in order to be protected against denial of services. It should be endorsed for managing authentication of users or something like this. The other point is the set of services that we want to have at the middle layer for enabling the development of security-oriented services. These core services are the ones that mainly will be focused on the management of SLA life cycle. What will happen here? That each user will be able to specify service level agreement, to specify their meetings. Such service level agreement will be stored, maintained, and their full life cycle will be maintained. This will be the input for the monitoring of the provider, the input for collecting the data, and the input even for the definition of the policy for the reaction and for the enforcement of eventual new services dedicated to security. The last step is the one that implements security mechanisms, and such security mechanisms will be implemented using the API and solution offered by the platform, running on the top of it, and using the core services in order to interoperate it, to be integrated with the service element. What are the main steps, the main core services that will be offered? Well, in order to maintain the full life cycle of service level agreement, we organize it in three main blocks that are one dedicated to negotiation. Here will be the focus on what provider offers, what the user want, and matching them, trying to quantitatively evaluate the security offered by providers, offers solutions to customers to specify which are the criteria they use to evaluate providers, because in security we have an additional problems with respect to performance and so on. That to quantitatively evaluate security is pretty difficult. Each one has a different perception of security, each one has different criteria and different needs. So we need a methodology and solutions to evaluate the providers based on what the user effectively needs. Because someone has privacy needs, some others have other kind of needs related to location or to other aspects. And the user should specify what are the requirements that are strict, what are the requirements that are less important, that can be managed. And so we need a way to negotiate with providers, offering a clear evaluation of security and enabling users to make this matching. We will have in the project a work page completely dedicated to these activities, and we have some preliminary results. The second step is the monitoring. We need to monitor providers, monitor who is offering effectively the resources to collect the data and to in order to evaluate what's happening and if SLA are effectively expected. And last step are the enforcement that will be based mainly on the security services, that are the application of the security mechanisms provided and requested by the users, and eventually the definition of the reactions when some others from SLA brings out. Okay, if these are the key ideas on which the specs project starts up, the point is that we cannot do this starting exactly from zero. And here comes the second section of the tutorial, that is starting from what we already have that is effectively running. And what we have effectively running is the Mosaic platform, the Mosaic API that enable us to develop and to start to implement the paradigm that I have shown before, specific for security, but in this case is general for any kind of application. Here, so we will have that the security platform will be based on the Mosaic platform in the API. Here, respect to the producer, to what Mosaic produced, we will focus on endorse it respect to security features, start to understand and study if there are additions to do to the platform in order to take into account that the focus will be against security problems. This will be the enabling the platform for the running of the solutions that implement the three interaction models that we have seen. And this is something that now pretty works and we are using. Second step are the core services. Here we have the components dedicated to SLA and so on. And so we have all the pieces that are needed for enabling the solution. Here, Mosaic has some few prototypes for management of the SLA in this context. Here the problem will be to have a full solutions that completely enable user-based SLA management. And so the full life cycle, the storing, the interpretation of SLA, management of the specific parameters for security, and so on. Here, and especially for the management of the parameters, identification of what should be inside SLA, we will have the contribution from the Cloud Security Alliance that is mainly dedicated to analyze the security offered by providers and have a lot of records and standardization efforts in defining what are the security parameters to be managed, produced, and offered by providers, or can be calculated on what providers offers. The last step are security services that, from Mosaic point of view, will be a set of components developed using Mosaic API that are simply dedicated to implement the security mechanisms needed. And all the tools and the applications that are usually done in this direction. Now we start to have an idea of how to run this kind of applications, but there is the missing point: how effectively Mosaic runs. Well, and so